Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources. Updating daily at 6 a.m. New York.
The Washington Times stories. Advocacy.
July 8. 5/11 America, New York. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe assassinated, was shot during campaign speech. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has died from his wounds after being shot during a campaign speech, Japan's NHK television said on Friday.
Washington Post World.
July 8, 5:09 America, New York. Portugal on wildfire alert amid heat wave and severe drought. Portugal's government has declared an 8-day state of alert due to a heightened risk of wildfires.
Washington Post World.
July 8, 5:05 America, New York. Philippine leader tests positive for coronavirus, isolates. Philippine officials say the country's new president has tested positive for the coronavirus after taking an antigen test.
New York Times World News.
July 8, 5 o'clock America, New York. Why South Korea can't quit Internet Explorer. Why a country known for blazing broadband and innovative devices remains tethered to a browser abandoned by most of the world long ago. A tombstone in South Korea marks the final days of Internet Explorer.
New York Times World News. July 8, 4:55 America, New York. Stunned Japan struggles to make sense of Abe shooting. Even Japanese people who said they don't follow politics much expressed disbelief. Newspapers were handed out in Tokyo on Friday.
Mirror World News.
July 8, 3:47 America, New York. X-rated Benidorm legend Sticky Vicky in hospital after suffering horror fall. Warning. Graphic images. Victoria Aragues Gadea, 79, smashed her knees getting into a car with get well messages flooding in from fans around the world.
Mirror World News. July 8, 3:46 America, New York. Couple furious after being slapped with £1,250 fine for parking on own driveway. Judy and Ed Crane have been left stunned after being fined £1,250 for parking outside of their property, as their council has enforced a decades-old city code to preserve neighborhood aesthetics. Washington Post World.
July 8, 3:19 America, New York. Dad, that's it. She's dead. Another day of loss in Ukraine. A woman in eastern Ukraine had gone out to feed the cats when the shelling began in a residential neighborhood.
World News. Breaking international news and headlines. Sky News.
July 8, 2:24 America, New York. Former FIFA President Sepp Blatter and ex-UEFA chief Michel Platini acquitted of corruption. Former FIFA President Sepp Blatter and former UEFA President Michel Platini have been acquitted of corruption by a Swiss court. File picture of UEFA President Michel Platini, R., congratulating FIFA President Sepp Blatter after he was re-elected at the 65th FIFA Congress in Zurich, Switzerland, May 29, 2015.
https://globalnews.ca/feed/.
July 8, 1:38 America, New York. Logan scores 2 touchdowns as Stampeders win 49-6 over Elks. The Calgary Stampeders humbled the Edmonton Elks 49-6 on a soggy Thursday night. Peyton Logan.
BBC News World.
July 8, 1:34 America, New York. Dinosaur finding hints at why T-Rex had small arms. Scientists believe tiny limbs gave the giant predator, named Meryx's gigas, survival advantages.
The Washington Times stories. Advocacy.
July 8, 0:25 America, New York. NEA proposal to replace mother with birthing parent dies. It turns out the National Education Association won't be replacing mothers with birthing parents, at least not this year.
New York Times World News.
July 8, 0:20 America, New York. Live updates. Shinzo Abe is unconscious after apparently being shot. The former prime minister was wounded while giving a speech near Kyoto, according to NHK, the public broadcaster. Shinzo Abe, the former prime minister of Japan, lying on the ground in Nara on Friday.
WorldCBSNews.com.
July 7, 23:41 America, New York. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe reportedly shot during speech. The 67-year-old Abe was Japan's longest-serving prime minister.
Wall Street Journal World News.
July 7, 23:33 America, New York. Shinzo Abe, former Japanese Prime Minister, collapses during a speech. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe collapsed during a speech in western Japan, public broadcaster NHK reported. An NHK reporter said it sounded like shots were heard at the site.